and welcome to this tutorial on how to animate your characters with Mixamo. My name is Joel Palmius, and I am the community manager for the Make Human community. In the last video, we got an introduction to rigging and posing in MPFB. If you have not watched the previous video, I would encourage you to do so before continuing here. While posing a single image render might be reasonably straightforward, creating a whole animation is a tough and tedious job. In many cases, it might be necessary, but there are also shortcuts where you can use existing animations rather than modeling your own. One such shortcut is Mixamo, which is an animation library offered by Adobe. Although the animations are proprietary, they are also free of charge. Thus it is readily available if you want to play around with animations. In this video, we will learn how to use MPFB's Mixamo rig together with Adobe's animation library in order to quickly and easily animate our characters. We will start from scratch and demonstrate all the required steps, as well as explain the key concepts. Even if you are familiar with MPFB, animation and Mixamo from before, it will probably not be obvious to you what a reduced doll is or why you need one. It should be noted that the procedure demonstrated here is one of many possible approaches, where the obvious alternative would be retargeting. The demonstrated approach has both upsides and downsides. The upsides are that it is quick, easy, and almost guaranteed to be 100% accurate. The downsides are that it makes it hard to combine animations and that it is completely unsuitable for export to other applications. If you intend to work with other applications, then you will most likely benefit more from exporting the characters as is with the Mixamo rig and then animate it in the destination. But let's start from the beginning. I'll first create a basic character. Then I'll add a Mixamo rig. At the point of making this video, there are two alternative Mixamo rigs. Either will work, but it is important to note that they cannot be mixed. An animation made for a character with one of the rigs will not work for a character with the other rig. If you have no specific reasons for choosing the Unity variant, go for the standard one. Now I'll just quickly model the character. There are no particular restrictions here. The only important part is that you need to finish the shape of the character before proceeding. Clothes, material, and things like that can be changed later, but in order for the procedure to work, the shape needs to be constant through the process. By the way, if you already have a saved character, you do not need to start over. Simply load it from saved file on the new human panel and select Mixamo in the drop-down for overriding the rig. There, now we have a character. Now for some basic theory. Mixamo is a full rigging solution. It is able to figure out how a character works in most cases, and it will detect the length of arms and legs. However, it is only able to do so for simple meshes with no overlapping geometry. Thus, using the base mesh as it is will not work. We cannot upload the character as is to Mixamo and get it to work for animations. Instead, we will create a copy of the character where everything which will confuse Mixamo has been stripped. This process is automated, and I will show you how it is done in a moment. But basically, the idea is to end up with an exported FBX file containing only this stripped character and the rig. With the rig selected, we can now open the Operations and Animation panel. Here we will find a one-button solution for creating the reduced doll. Clicking it will open a FBX export dialog. We can simply accept all the defaults. Once you have the FBX file, you can delete the copy which was created. Now we are ready to proceed to Mixamo. If you do not have an account from before, it should be possible to simply log in using your Google account or something. First we need to upload the character. Nothing complicated should need to be done. Next, we can select an animation. Let's go for some dancing. Now we can download the animation. The key and most important part here is that you want to download it without the skin. Back in Blender, we can now import the FBX file we downloaded. Now we select both the rig of our character and the rig we imported. The order you select them in does not matter. Then we simply click on the Snap button. Let's hide the Mixamo animation rig. Now we can play the animation. That's all that needs to be done. Let's take a look at the rendered version too. There. We have a dancing character which looks about as sad as I would do if I had to do the YMCA. The key parts which you need to understand and remember are that the reduced doll is character specific, and so is the downloaded animation. If you create a reduced doll for a thin and tiny woman, it will look very strange if you snap it to a tall, fat man. But as long as the character has the same shape, you can reuse the same reduced doll for many projects. That was it for today. Thank you for watching and happy modeling.